Hello everyone, here is my brief presentation on how I support my students' proficient completion of the RCD APTs. To begin, I want to share a bit of what inspired me in this quick 1.5 minute video.
For me, here's one implication. It might be the case there is no strategy out there that we could say every teacher should be using this. You know, it's teachers using tools that are appropriate for their current situation. A lot of things work, actually the majority of things work, and a lot of things also don't work. Matter of fact, everything works and everything doesn't work. So for me, we've got this great set of tools. Now what I think we're saying to teachers is make sure you use this wrench and this screwdriver instead of saying, here's an array of tools, and you use those to produce results. And that's the bottom line, producing results. The tools you use are up to you. And if you're producing results, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're not, let's try another tool. Now that's a very different way of doing business. It really is. Again, when I talk to teachers, they say, I don't mind feedback, I want feedback. But if you're looking at specific strategies, that doesn't work for me. So what do we do about that? Well, I think there's some things we can do. Well, first of all, what is clearly needed is a robust model of teaching as the basis of feedback to teachers that does not simply assume all research-based instructional strategies should be present in every lesson. That's bottom line. Bottom line for me. If you're doing that, I think that's not the best practice in terms of giving teachers feedback, and I think you might have some fairly annoyed teachers in some cases.
So what exactly am I doing? I'm using a website to introduce the engaging scenario, Common Core standard, and scoring guide of the unit tasks. I'm taking the task graphic organizers and chunking them into parts. I'm then taking those parts and using scaffolded web page activities to support mastery of the individual parts. These can be completed in class, at home, or at the after-school zone program. Next, I'm bringing those chunks back together in the final APT. I have CFUs throughout activity completion, and I am constantly observing classroom activity and behavior. This is my formative assessment. I'm giving them the APT to complete independently, and finally I'm grading the APT according to the ULP scoring guide. This is my summative assessment. This is what the website provides. It engages students, provides opportunities for peer collaboration, can be used during small group rotations, includes scaffolded learning strategies, can be completed in class or at home, saves instructional time during class, supports EL, SPED, and provides enrichment for high achievers, and provides typing practice for the SBAC. This process all starts with the Common Core standard, and then introduces the engaging scenario, previewing the scoring guide, and then guiding the students through a series of scaffolded learning exercises developed to match the expectations of the scoring guide for that particular task. Here's a sample using Unit 1, Task 3. From my home page, students select the button for Unit 1, Task 3. The visuals on the page support my ELs, along with students receiving specialized academic instruction. The navigation icons along the top of the page are consistent across the entire website. Students type the responses into the fields. I underlined the correct answers as accommodation for my students. The typing integrated into these activities supports the skills needed for the SBAC. Here's the Common Core standard page associated with Unit 1, Task 3. You can choose which standard you want them to focus on, but all the priority standards are listed. You can also see that I placed the big idea under the navigation icons. Here's the scoring guide webpage for Task 3. I added grades along the top of the scoring guide to display a high level of expectations. I use this as a visual goal to shoot for. This is a scaffolded strategy page which displays a menu of 7 activities. On the bottom half, I display the COSTIS chart so the students can see the levels and what skill will be developed at that level. Again, the navigation icons are consistent across the top of the page, and there are specific icons I use for each scaffolded exercise. So here is strategy number 1, identify. Along the left, I am showing the RCD graphic organizer I used as a basis for these task activities. I have the section supported by this activity circled in red. On the right, the web page displays elements of the APT graphic organizer. This supports COSTIS Level 2 processing. This is the strategy number 2 page. How did the author illustrate with words? Again, along the left, you can see the section of the graphic organizer I replicated on this web page. I also wanted to point out that I have the essential question under the description of the activity. The article they will be using is displayed, and students can also enlarge the screen if needed. Here is strategy number 3, methods of elaboration. Again, the section of the graphic organizer I am replicating is circled in red along the left. The elements of the APT graphic organizer are displayed on the web page on the right. These activities are student-centered with visuals. I also included background music for my audio learners. The students get to type instead of write, and they can work on these activities independently or with peers. Here's strategy number 4, providing textual evidence. In this activity, students must answer the questions and then provide the paragraph and sentence of where they found their evidence. 2 elaboration activities are also included that support identifying an analogy and adverbs. Here's the strategy number 5 exercise using direct quotes. I have included 2 short instructional videos that can be shown during whole class instruction or viewed multiple times independently or with a peer. This web page also includes practice for using direct quotes along the right of the article. Here's strategy number 6, concrete evidence and commentary. On this page I have an audio news report from NPR along with a short video about the article. I also included an article from Fox News Latino and a web page article from The Guardian. Here the students are provided with multiple sources covering the same topic. After viewing and listening to what is on the web page, they must answer the Level 2 processing questions along the top of the page. And finally, here is the Unit 1 Task 3 Authentic Performance Task page. This is where I use this page to review the expectations for independent completion of this task. I provide a new appropriate leveled length article, review the scoring guide, and explain that they must complete the APT graphic organizer on their own. I then pass out a hard copy of the article and the graphic organizer for them to work on. In summary, these activities engage the students. I can integrate Marzano-inspired strategies, saves paper, are based on the standards and RCV UOP. They provide typing practice for the SBAC, and I use a free website to do this. So what do you need to replicate this differentiated instructional method? Yes, time, but also a willingness to be student-centered, get real cozy with the unit tasks, work ahead on the units, look at the APTs and work backwards, computers, desktops, laptops, Chromebooks, or computer lab time. You can use this method as a learning center maybe once or twice a week at school, but the students can complete them multiple times outside of that. Lastly, I would like to explain why I use Weebly.com. Well, it's free. I also get emails sent directly to my district Gmail account whenever a student enters their initials and clicks submit. At this time, it's the only free website host that allows users to create data entry fields that can be manipulated, adjusted, and placed anywhere on the web page. This aspect is crucial for replicating the RCD graphic organizers and receiving feedback on specific elements of the task. In closing, thank you for your time and attention during this presentation. If you have any questions about any part of this presentation, I might have a few minutes to answer questions here, but you can always email me at wsoto@hemetusd.org. Thank you.